we discussed an important aspect which leads to the limb of pure devotional service is conviction in the process. So the fourth offense is for to blaspheme the Vedic literature and literature in pursuance of Vedic version. This fourth offense is done when one doesn't have conviction in the process. When one thinks that everything is futile, it means there is no sustenance or existence. बड़े बड़े बातें बोल रहे हैं. That means they say big words, but it's not of no use. It's not of use. So when one hears Shravanam like this, it is an offense against the scriptures. They sell big words, but nobody follows that. This is an offense actually. When we take the process light, when we hear to pass the time, then these things will come. So eventually, the acceptance of the scriptures will be lost. For example, I'll give the example yesterday. Yesterday's story, I don't know how many remember now. There's like hundreds of lessons we can learn through that. Now, when the sadhu when his wife fed the cow, the divine apple, the divine fruit. Do we ever see that cow giving birth to a boy? We don't. But how is that happening? It happened. When something is written in the scriptures, it happened. It happens. So the moment we think that, oh, this is not possible, this is an offense against the scriptures, because we are not accepting that state. Now, is it like blind acceptance? No. Scriptures are a direct representation of the Lord. It is not blind acceptance. Nobody is doing blind acceptance here. Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delivered the dog. Now, if you do not have the acceptance, then that is an offense against the scriptures. Stating that, oh, how come the dog will be liberated? Or how come that the tiger and the deer are embracing each other? Oh, this is not possible. If it is not possible through our vision, that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. I'll give a beautiful example on this. There are two children. There's a mother is pregnant. There's two boys, twins. These twins are talking to each other. One twin is telling, there is no existence after the moment we come out of this body, then we die. One person is arguing like this. The other person is telling, no, don't you hear the voice of the mother? The other boy in the womb is telling, don't you hear the voice of the mother? She's there. I can feel her presence. You see, she's also chanting Hare Krishna. No, I do not hear any of those things. The moment we come out of this body, we have no existence. That is what one boy was propagating. Just like so many people in this world, they propagate so many things. Stating that, oh, life is like an ice cream. Just eat completely before it melts. Because if you do not enjoy in the youthful time, then you'll be, you cannot enjoy after that. So just enjoy now. Do sense gratification. A lot of people propagate this. This is atheism. They propagate this. Okay. So everyone had their own propaganda. Likewise, the child in the mother's womb, he has his own propaganda. He somehow is convinced that the moment we come out of this body, we die. But the other child is very intelligent. He's telling, he's actually seeing the presence of the mother. And then he says that there is I think there is light. That is what it is. Because it's pitch dark, right? In the mother's room. Do we have sunlight in the mother's room? No, it is completely dark. And then he's telling there is light. We can see the mother. We can see others. And this is what is happening. No, just think about the situation. On one side, the person is propagating, there is nothing. On the other side, the same people are taking mother's association, but one person has no conviction, but the other person he has. Now, immediately a question will come: how is this manifesting? One person is accepting, other person is not. That is through their samskaras, through their upbringing. Now you can ask, no, they just came now. What are you talking about? Upbringing. They were not even born. No, 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 no. These samskaras will come from the previous life. For example, if a child is not hearing, is not following, is very adamant, we need to understand those are all the samskaras which is carrying. But those samskaras can also be purified through the process of Krishna consciousness. It can be purified. Tavakatamritam tapta jivanam. Now, this is a verse which was being spoken by Prataprudra Maharaj to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is the glories of the devotees. This is the glories of the scriptures. It is Amrita. The moment we hear about the Lord and his associates, it's Amrit, nectar. Katamritam. That nectar, when one goes in the heart, then it purifies, it dissipates. Sannata Shvakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtan. Vridantasya Abhadrani. All the misgivings, insecurities in the heart, they will be dissipated. Sadhaka requires acceptance. Simply when one hear with that attitude, then you see the transformation. Then that actually gives that conviction. Now, against that conviction is this fourth offense. And one doesn't have that attitude, he commits fourth offense. So, whatever the scriptures are giving, they are the facts. Even if we did not see it, that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It does exist. So when one comes to that state of acceptance, then his life is beautiful. Because in that moment, he's not doing an offense, rather he's embracing the scriptures. He's not blaspheming the scriptures, rather he's relishing the nectar through the scriptures. This is an interesting thing. For example, there are so many quotes in the law books. For this sin, you get this. For this thing, you get this. For this, you get this. There's so many quotes. Likewise, Garuda Puran also gives different quotes. For this sinful activity, you get this reaction. If you want to enjoy other person's wife, then you'll get this kind of sinful reaction. So there are different quotes. Why the quotes are there? The quotes are there for sinful people. The quotes are not there for devotees. Quotes are not for devotees. But if the devotee do not understand the Amrita or the nectar, Krishna Kathamrita, do not understand that, then what happens? There's a chance of falling to the lower modes. That means when the sadhaka doesn't relish Amrita, Krishna Kathamrita, obviously he wants to relish something else, the happiness through the lower modes. For that reason, we discuss that. Now, Garuda Puran and the discussion through that. There are so many quotes, dear devotees, how a subtle body will suffer because it doesn't get a gross body. That is called as demon, which we discussed yesterday about her sister's son. She accepted him as his son. That child, that boy became an adult, and then he would commit so many sinful activities through which he would get that demon body. Now, the moment a thought or a desire comes into the heart in those lines, then when we hear the Krishna Kathamrita, when we accept those things, then immediately that would trigger. The moment that trigger, we would be away from those lower modes. Again, we come to the higher modes. So initially, the nectar might not be there. Vishya-vinivartante niraharasya dehinam rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishta-nivartate. Okay, when one gets that higher taste, then he will leave the lower taste, which Krishna confirms in Gita. Right? Yesterday, a proper disciple was bringing up this. Bhagavatacharya Prabhu brought up this shloka. Yes, no doubt, when higher taste is there, obviously we will leave the lower taste. But what is, see, there is in between also. There is lower modes, there is higher taste. In between, there is anartha nivritti, which is what? Which is what is very important, because this is a cleansing stage. So through that, what happens is there is a state also where actually I was thinking about this. Don't we have a state in between? Yes, we have a state in between. That means on one side we are knowing, and on the other side there is happiness, but there is in between also. So what do we do in this in between? In this in between, before getting that taste towards the process, towards the holy name, towards the Krishna Kathamritam, that in between state is a state where we have to cautiously or focusedly try to remember them. Even though we do not have that, we try to remember them. That smarana has to come. When that smarana comes, then slowly, asakti comes. That means interest. Interest towards that process will come. That means we want to discuss this 24 hours. That asakti will come. When then the discussion goes to 24 hours, then we get the higher taste. And that this higher taste is also given to us. Oh, not that I'm doing smarana so much. And then through my smarana, Krishna is immensely pleased. And then he's giving this taste. No, Krishna. There's nothing mine here. Everything is given to us. Their devotees, I, me, mine is, there is nothing like I, me, mine. It's all falsity. That means we don't exist, we exist. Our true identity is something else. Jivara Swarupa Krishna Nityadas. That is our true identity. That means the servant is never thinking that it is coming through me. That I, me is there. The moment we think, little, I did little, that itself will keep us here in this material world. There is nothing little or this or that. Everything is coming from him. He is the source of that. Krishna, Balarama, everything is coming from them. Srimati Radha and our spiritual master. Everything is coming from, just an instrument. When this attitude is there, Krishna is immensely pleased. And then when he is pleased, he gives that mercy. Again, that mercy comes through association. Please understand, mercy only comes from association. The moment we leave, I know, the moment we leave this association, we understand, we should be convinced that the taste to the holy name or whatever relation, it will all be removed. Now, whatever little understanding we are getting is through Sankirtana process. The Chetodarpana Marjana, which we discussed yesterday, this is a most benediction, benevolent process. When we all come together, hear and chant, that is the solace for us. That is the source for us. And whoever gets this conviction little bit, he will never commit any offenses towards the scriptures because he understands scriptures are the mother. Now, one time Srila Prabhupada has been asked, oh, if scriptures are the mother, if mother doesn't know, then what is the scope of the child? It's an interesting question, actually. If the mother, Prabhupada says, scriptures are the mother who tell about the father. Okay. Those are the codes which tell about the father. Because that is, scriptures are the heart of the father. Okay. Now the question is, if mother doesn't know who father is, then what is the scope? Then Prabhupada immediately said, there is no scope. One cannot understand. There is no scriptures. There is no Guru Sadhu Shastra. Cannot understand anything. We have no identity. That means we are completely lost. There is no existence. Srila Prabhupada says, very instrumental. Now that means the fourth offense, or to blaspheme the Vedic literature persons, who does that, it's a clear indication he will not understand anything. Is it not the fact? Now we should understand how important these offenses are. How important we should meditate on this and then try to come out of this. Don't you think this is important? This is very important. Very, very important. For example, you go to visa office. Don't you follow the rules and regulations which are there in the visa office? Now, this is what you need to bring. These are the documents. Let's say you're applying for student visa. They say that this is what you need to bring. Your graduate certificate, your transfer certificate, your different things you have to bring. They say you should bring all your I-20s from your college. You should bring all of them, right? When you bring all of them, dear devotees, then the inspector or the whoever he is, I don't know, let's use whatever that US consulate officer. He is reviewing all the documents. When he thinks it is authorized, then he approves. He will not simply just blindly you will approve. He will see those things. Then he approves because this person is going to his country. The person has to be authorized. Otherwise, how can he go? So likewise, the codes which we hear or discuss today, or we are discussing through these 10 offenses, those are the authorizations. That means cautiously we should be away from it. If we do not hear about these things, then some way, shape, or form through our Rajoguna and the mode of Tamo, we say in the heart and heart, oh, I think somehow this is doubtful, this is not right, that is not right. That's an offense. That means the process we will run, we wouldn't understand. And because there is no acceptance, because there is no quality of submissiveness to the scriptures, then what happens? Then we do not relish, then we do not experience. Shravanamangalam Srimadatam. Shravanamangalam Srimadatam. Shravanam is the most auspicious thing. Most auspicious. This Pratapruddra Maharaj is telling. to Lord Chaitanya. Burida Jana. What is Burida Jana? Burida Jana are the persons who actually spread this. Burida Jana. When they spread this, then the glories of the Krishna Kathamritam is expanded. So beautiful, actually. And then the moment Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard this, just see, this is from the scripture, dear devotee. Just see what kind of absorption they have. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord. See his absorption in the process. He was totally spellbound because Bhattacharya is continuously hearing. When Chaitanya Charitamrita says, both from both of their eyes, tears are flowing. This is higher taste. Both of them are crying. Then they are embracing each other. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, I cannot repay you because you told me the essence of everything. Krishna Kathamrita. It has nectar in it. So when one accepts that as is, then there is no question of doing fourth offense. Simply thinking that pastime or that conversation, we can close our eyes. And then the moment we begin thinking about that, don't you see the picturization of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Prataprudra Maharaj, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is resting on a soft bed, and Prataprudra Maharaj is pressing his feet. And Prataprudra Maharaj gave up his kingly dress and then he wore Vaishnava attire. He's looking very beautiful. And that Prataprudra Maharaj is actually reciting the glories of Lord's intimate devotees. Now, these personalities should discuss about gopis because they have that consciousness and attitude. Dear devotees, I do not have that attitude, that consciousness to discuss about those intimate pastimes. Now, when we do not have that attitude, then we pray for that attitude. Then, through their mercy, we get that attitude. Now, simply by closing our eyes, we can see that presence of both of them performing that act together. That Prataprudra Maharaj is glorifying Lord's devotees, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is crying profusely. And then he says, my dear Prataprudra, I cannot repay anything to you. Yes, you are my heart and soul. I cannot repay. The only thing I can do, I can embrace you. Because that is the most thing which I can do. Because to what you said, there is nothing to repay. That means he spoke from the scriptures. Now what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling, I cannot repay you. That means the scriptures, we cannot repay or we cannot buy or we cannot, through our so-called understanding, we cannot give, we cannot repay. We cannot buy it with money or something else. That cannot be done. See their attitude. This attitude we need to have. And when we simply accept this truth as is, we get that attitude. See, simplicity is a source to become Krishna conscious. Krishna consciousness means, yes, it is a deep science. But if a sadhaka accepts this as is, for example, we have difficulties, accept it, just accept it. We have difficulties in our life, simply accept it. This is the conviction. And Balramji is telling us, don't worry, I'm here. Why worry? I will take care of you. You don't have to lament. If you have a difficulty, just accept. If you have a problem, just accept. I'm there. I'm there to give you that conviction. Now, all these exalted personalities, they wanted to give us conviction. The moment we see that, do we ever do the fourth offense? No. Because fourth offense is against the scriptures, but now we are embracing the scriptures through their examples. This is called as dharmasya tattam nihitam guhyayam mahajanayena gatasapanta. That means following in the footsteps of our acharyas and their lordships is what? This is what it is. Mahajan, who are they? They are the Mahajan. Just following them. There is no question of doing an offense. Just like the child who's in the mother's womb, he knows, he understood. Because through his samskaras, through his association with his mother, he understood. What is that understanding? That my mother is there, I'm going to see her, I'm going to come out of this body, and I'm going to take her association. He's happy for that. But the other child is dejected. See, everything is there in consciousness. Happiness, dejection. The way how we think, the way how we perceive the truth. Example, if I give a picture, everyone will perceive that picture through their understanding. Because through his perceptions only, he can see that. Now, when we leave our perception aside, then take the perceptions of our acharyas, then everything will be crystal clear for us. That is called as clearing. Cheto darpana vacha. Taking their consciousness into our consciousness. And then seeing them, seeing through their heart. This is what is Mahajanayana Kathasa. When that is manifested, we know scriptures are giving so much. And what do? We worship them. Just like Bhagavatam is being worshipped. They install Bhagavatam. Devotees install Bhagavatam at their home. What is this? These are all going away from that fourth offense rather than we are embracing them. When this comes, then there is no question of disobeying the scriptures. And also the other thing is, this is important and then I'll conclude here. What is very important is, dear devotees, the moment we begin following the scriptures as is through the teachings of the acharyas, through the acceptance, then what happens? We will get the relishment through that. Then that Krishna Prem will come. The taste will come. The reciprocation will come. And then when little reciprocation came, just like a child, for example, is eating sweet for the first time. You give little sweet to him. He liked it. What does he do? He hankers for more. Likewise, when we get that little thing, salpamapyasya dharmasya, trayato mahato bhayat. Little thing, little salpam. That salpam means little. When that salpam is coming, then we aspire for more. Lord will give, because that is what we are desiring. So in between, material nature will try to pull us. She's always there, dear devotees. Don't think that don't think that when the moment we are absorbed in the process, she will not trouble. No, she will always trouble. So cautiously we should try to avoid her. We should try to cautiously avoid her. Just like the child, he avoided his co-brother, uh, his brother, twins. Now, he's not convinced with with his other brother. He's convinced with his thing. So likewise, we should cautiously avoid the material nature. The more we try to avoid her, the more we'll try to be absorbed in this. This we need to do. Hare Krishna. Stop here. Anyone would like to add anything? Any reflections? Would like to share anything? So it's important how one can come out of this blaspheming state to the state of acceptance and to the state of embracement through the scriptures. That will manifest when we accept it, core of the heart. Such a beautiful pastime, actually. The way how Prataprudra Maharaj comes and then meets Lord Chaitanya. Very beautiful episode. Amazing. Hare Krishna comes in Madhya Leela. All right. Thank you. Let us stop here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Thank Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for the wonderful lecture, Prabhuji, and thank you for the wonderful bhajan from Sivalas Prabhuji. Everyone, please bless me and give me your blessings. Today is the first day of school, and I want to do well this year on my exams. So please give me the blessings. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna. I'll now sit the Prem Devani.
Thank you, Mataji. Wish you all the best. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. जब में समदापन महमसा प्रिय विराज कचार्य श्री श्री शिमर ऐसी भक्तिवनंद समाराज शिल्पपार की जय
Jai.
ISKCON Bhakti Acharya शिल्पपार की जय
Jai.
जब में समदापन महमसा प्रिय विराज कचार्य श्री शिमर भक्ति सरंत सरस्त गोस्वामी महाराज शिल्पपार की जय
Jai.
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय
Jai.
आचार्य श्री कौर की जय
Jai.
हम कौशिक कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री वित गराधर शिव श्री गौर भक्ति की जय
Jai.
श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपी गोपीनाथ श्याम कन्हैया राधा गंगरी गोवर्धन की जय
Jai.
श्री मायापुरी धाम की जय
Jai.
श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय
Jai.
श्री जगन्नाथपुरी की जय
Jai.
गंगा माई की जय
Jai.
यमुना माई की जय
Jai.
तुलसी देवी की जय
Jai.
भक्ति देवी की जय
Jai.
श्री नाम संकीर्तन की जय
Jai.
समर्पित भक्तिवृंद की जय
Jai.
निताय गौर प्रेमानंद हरि हरि बोल
Hare Hare Bol.
All glories to the Summon devotees, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to the Summon devotees, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to the Summon devotees, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Nama Om Vishmaraya Kashamashaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaudavani Vicharani Devishesha Snivari Prashadeshitarani Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Guru Vitagarade Shiva Sari Gaura Bhaktivinda Mukam Kroti Vachalam Pangamlam Gade Kirimi Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinitanam Panamaranavadam Shri Chaitanya Isharam Karve Gaurachandra Radhikatarale Krishna Krishna Bhaktaya Bhaktayan Namaha Vanchakaupadabhishta Kripasnave Vichapatitanam Pavane Vaishnave Banamo Namaha Hare Krishna everyone, have a wonderful Krishna conscious day. Hari Bol.
हरे हरे बोल करीना माता जी के
Jai.
राम शिवलेश प्रभु जी के
Jai.
लीला गोविंद प्रभु जी के
Jai.
all the devotees के
Jai.
शिला प्रभुपाद के
Jai.
हरे कृष्णा धन्यवाद प्रणाम
Hare Krishna Pranam everyone.
Prabhuji, then today is the first day of the school for all the kids. Hari Bol to all the kids. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol to Balram Sir Prabhuji, always giving us prasadam. He took prasadam to the movies yesterday as well. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, you should have told us just for prasadam. We should have come then.
Hare Krishna devotees, the morning message has been now live on YouTube. We have a playlist also, yet to create a playlist specifically for messages, but the messages are already saved in YouTube. So please, you can go back and check anytime. So
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. I already started sharing to my friends, devotee friends in Trinidad, so they will have a taste of our kathas. Hare Krishna. Thanks for your wonderful service. Thank you, Neela Govinda. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Shilpa
Prabhuji,
Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
thank you. Prabhuji, today we have my friend, my dearest friend, from engineering. She's Ramya. She's on the call. She just joined. From tomorrow, she would be joining as well. Please
Hari Bol.
invite her.
Hare Krishna, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Where is Ramya Mataji?
Mataji. Here.
Hare Krishna. Nice to see you.
Hare Krishna. Nice to meet you.
Prabhuji,
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Ramya is from Kavali.
Nice. I think I should talk to you once. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji, my best friend. Thank you so much.
Thank
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for sharing this link.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji.
I will talk to you once. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Welcome.